Hey you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at knottylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Good morning, Naughty Crew. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are well. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, because I know I did, okay? Ooh, good morning, Brad. Thank you for joining. So today we are going to get into the deep, all right, of Where is Wendy, the documentary. I have so many opinions, so many thoughts. And then if we have time, we'll get into trending topics. But this topic alone is a lot to go over. I will drop the link in a few to see if anybody wants to come up on the panel and sound off about what they saw. I'm in the middle of episode 4, still trying to get through it. It was so heartbreaking, so sad. But before we get into today's content, please remember, hit that like button. Yes, hit the like button so that YouTube knows that we're here. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And leave comments, interact with the channel. Especially people in the bushes, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down. Also, please subscribe to my backup channel. We're trying to get monetized over there at Naughty Crew Live Podcast. All right. That's all I have for the maintenance. Yeah, I'm going to drop this intro. I'll tell y'all a little bit about my weekend, and then we'll dive right in. Thumbs up this video. is just so sad. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Wendy, this is so heartbreaking. Y'all don't even know. Like, this... all right, here's my thoughts so far on what I saw. I gotta finish episode 4, you guys. But Wells Fargo, they the reason behind all of this. They really are. What gives a bank the right to not only, number one, come in and take over your finances, right? But then also make choices about who can be around you, okay? Now, Wells Fargo felt like it was necessary to take over Wendy's finances. They said they saw suspicious activity, all right? At that point, they appointed a guardian. This is all within a short span of time, Knotty Crew. Like within 2 years, this has happened, right? Then the guardian comes in and immediately exits out the family. I just feel like this is a setup. Knotty Crew, like when I'm watching this, I just really feel like
that's suspicious. That's weird.
Wells Fargo, y'all stealing Wendy money? Are y'all stealing Wendy money? I think that's what's going on here. Because y'all immediately isolated her away from the people that loved her. Now, originally, Wendy, when she was in Florida with Kevin Jr., she was getting better. She was on an incline of doing better. Kevin Jr. had her on a vegan diet. She was completely alcohol free and she was doing well. And it wasn't until the courts ordered Wendy to come back to New York for the conservatorship. And at that time, they deemed Wendy unfit. And then Wendy said that she didn't want Kevin Jr. around her. I find that weird. All right. And the main thing I'm happy to hear from is Kevin Jr.'s side. That poor young man, to watch his mom go through this has to be emotionally draining. All right. Some of the things he said is he's afraid his mom is gonna die. No child should be faced against that, you know. But I really feel like this documentary revealed a lot about who's in her circle and her team. I don't like in front of the cameras, they try to portray like they care. But I don't know. I just have everybody is just worried about the bottom line around her, and that is what is causing her decline. You know, at one point in time, she was doing well. And I just really don't feel like her team has her best interest at heart. Hold on, let me see what this is. Okay, this is right before she went to court for the conservatorship. Hey, good morning, Michelle. This is right before she went to court. All right, this is when she was getting better. Here we go.
Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Hi.
How's your morning going?
It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm doing okay, you know? Beautiful.
Okay? She was coherent. She was doing well. Kevin Jr. had been taking care of her. She had gained weight. She was not drinking. She was doing fine. And then right after that, that's when she had to go to court. That's what forced her back into New York. And I just really feel like there's people here with ulterior motives. And the motive being they want her money. And it got me to thinking about other conservatorships through the years, like the Britney Spears and the Amanda Bynes conservatorship, right? When their conservatorship took place, their families were able to step in with the financial decisions on health, even though Britney's dad robbed her blind, but they allowed the family to step in, right? But in Wendy's situation, her family was pushed away. Make it make sense, Naughty Crew. Make it make sense. Y'all think it's a race thing? I'm gonna just throw the question out there. Y'all think it's a race thing? Because this didn't happen in Amanda Bynes and Britney Spears situation. I just really feel like it's a lot going on here. All right. Shout out to her niece. Cause she's just like her auntie. Okay. Her niece is like no holds barred. Like, I don't want these people around you. I don't know you. Who are you? And she was a straight shooter with Wendy. Like, auntie, you are smarter than this. You are better than this. We don't even know who these people are around you. Okay. Now, after she got divorced and she got fired from Denmark Mercury, Wendy ultimately put a new team in place. Something went terribly wrong. Yes, Michelle. She put a new team in place, and I don't know if that was of her doing. But in the first episode, I felt like what we were witnessing is a downward spiral. It was back-to-back trauma for Wendy. The divorce. Then she lost the show. Wait, excuse me. The divorce. She lost her mother. Then she lost the show. And this is a woman that's been doing this most of her life for 20 plus years. For 20 plus years of her life. That's all she knew. I'm sorry. I would be a little depressed if that happened to me. You understand? I would be going through some things. Some of the things I found very convenient. Her manager, Will, coming into her room and pointing out that, oh, you drank this whole liquor bottle. Something is real suspicious about Will, okay? Conveniently, we're catching Will switching out her drink. But how was she getting the alcohol in the first place in the house? Somebody has to be supplying her with the alcohol. Now, Kevin Jr. has said this over and over again. The people around her are enabling her. They're not there for her best interest. Why? Because all they care about is getting the check. They're paid. And Denise brought that out to Wendy. Like, these aren't your friends. These are your employees, Auntie. And you can't be both. You can't be both. You can be cordial with your coworkers, but you cannot be both. And I seen what Kevin Jr. was talking about. Okay, you got the publicists basically looking the other way and saying that Wendy has no problem. She, in her mind, like, yeah, she drinks, but she knows how to stop. The other thing I want to bring out is, her niece confronted her. And one thing Wendy kept saying over and over again was when she pointed out about the team, and she was like, they're stealing from me. They are stealing from me. She's not saying her family's stealing from her. She's not saying Kevin Jr. is stealing from her. She's saying her team around her is stealing from her. One thing that was brought out, it was the scene where Will came into Wendy's room and pointed out that she had a vodka bottle in there. And Wendy had stacks of cash. Okay? And naturally, she probably doesn't want to put it in the bank. Why? She can't trust nobody, right? And so Will's like, well, you need to protect the money. You can't just have it laying around like this or whatever. And so the production asked Will, good morning, James. You didn't miss much. I'm just giving my thoughts on this whole where is Wendy? Because it opened my eyes. But anyway, getting back to Will. The production asked him, like, is Wendy scared to put her money in the bank because of what's going on with Wells Fargo? Okay, as far as Wendy is concerned, she's feeling like she has $0 at Wells Fargo, which I don't think is the case. It's just that her money is frozen. Okay, and I just think that's the way she computed in her mind. But one thing Will said was, well, we opened up another bank account for her. So we would think that she would put the cash in that bank. Naughty crew. Naughty crew. Who has access to that bank account? I just found it all.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
I find it quite suspicious and quite weird. And how come her family can't be around her? I feel like it would be helpful for her to be around her loved ones, especially with her memory issues. So the more familiar people she's with, the better it is for her. Then I started to see another side of Will, him getting angry and yelling and screaming. And Wendy in episode 3 kind of took the reign in her hands, like, I'm still the boss. I'm going out to LA. I'm going to pitch my show and I'm going to get back on TV. Now, Kevin Jr. doesn't feel like it's a good idea for her to even, yes, he's trash, child, for her to even work anymore. She needs to just focus on her health. You know, one of the things the family brought out is when she was with the family in Miami, in Florida, Wendy was doing much better until she got back up here to New York around her team, and then the whole family was pushed out. Okay? And I pose to you again, Naughty Crew. Let's look it up. I don't know, James. Let's look it up. Now, she sold the apartment in New York. So they said as of 2024, Celebrity Network reports that Wendy Williams' net worth is $500,000. This figure may come as a surprise to some, especially considering that the longtime television star previously reported net worth was $20 million. What the blood clot go on? Here it is. This is what Google said, y'all. Where is Wendy's money? Wells Fargo. Are you using Wendy's money to invest? Hey, in my opinion, Wells Fargo is thieving her. Shout out to Stylecaster. So what happened to Wendy's net worth? Wendy Williams' net worth, which stemmed primarily from her tenure as the host of the Wendy Williams Show. It appears to have dwindled following the cancellation of her longtime show in 2022. Recent revelations from Williams herself paint a shocking picture of her current finances. In a teaser for her 2024 Lifetime documentary series, Where is Wendy?, the former radio personality candidly claims that she has no money after the bank accounts were frozen in February of 2022. At the time, Williams' former financial advisor told her bank that she was unsound mind. Okay, so the financial advisor is on the chopping block because what was her motive? So not long after that, Wells Fargo froze her accounts. The bank petitioned a New York court to place the talk show host under financial guardianship, citing risk of financial exploitation, dementia, and undue influence. Their request was approved, and Williams was appointed an unnamed financial guardian, which we know her name is Sylvia now. So as part of the documentary, Wendy is quoted saying, "I have no money and I'm going to tell you something." Williams says in the trailer, "If it happened to me, it can happen to you." And that is so true. But this is my thing. Britney Spears and Amanda Bynes, they have to do all of this. What is Naughty Crew? Do y'all feel like the banks have a right? All right, they may have a right when it comes to your financial, if they see sufficient activity, but to continue to keep her funds frozen, I think it's something crooked there. Wells Fargo got a history of stealing. I just feel so bad from Wendy that this is what it's all reduced to. All right. So my next commentary is going to fall under fair use commentary. Shout out to the neighborhood talks, because Wendy's former attorney has spoken out, and this is right before she went back to New York. And this to show the state of mind that Wendy was in. Okay. Shout out to the neighborhood talk. Fair use. Fair use. Everything we talk about here is for educational purposes. All right. And it falls under copyright 107. YouTube, don't play with me.
And I like the company I keep there. And I do what I can. I do what I can.
I see you looking real healthy.
Please, Kevin, please.
Yeah. But you also like how it's really private, because I know you like the gyms if they're private, of course.
Yeah, I like it. And I also like food, which is why I've got to keep on my routines with going to the gym,
Yeah. And like, how have you been eating? Like, because everyone that looks at you have beautiful skin. Like, people want to know what's the secret.
Thank you. I'm not giving you points for saying that to me. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I'm trying.
No, but it's I was born and I like the company I keep there, and I do what I can. I do what I can.
I see you looking real.
Okay, so Wendy is real coherent. This is 2 years ago. Wendy Williams, former lawyer from Miami, who was fired when the Guardian came in and fired all sorts of people, was put in place, and shares a video of Wendy doing better in the care of her son. You can clearly see the difference between her son caring for her and lack thereof in New York under the guardianship. She is not doing better under this guardianship, and this is what I need people to understand. So Miami and law, I weighed the decision for a very long time. I have kept silent because I have been threatened with physical and financial harm, but I just couldn't keep silent any longer. And thank you, sir, for speaking out. Okay. So while Wendy was in Miami with her son, I will often witness candid moments of their mother-son dynamic. I could tell that he loves his mother so much. And as you can see, the feeling was mutual. You can clearly see the difference between Wendy's well-being during her time here in Florida with her son caring for her, and her lack thereof in New York under this guardianship. These Wendy's are not the same. How did her health deteriorate so quickly? And that's the question I ask. And why isn't her only child allowed to be by her side? She wasn't like that when he cared for her. Ask the hard questions. I took this video literally 2 weeks before Wendy was court ordered to return to New York to respond to a guardianship petition filed by her bank. Let that sink in. It sounds like a setup. Naughty Crew. My mother passed away on October 1st of 2022 from complications related to her ALS diagnosis, and I feel so blessed and grateful. that I was able to spend every second that I could with her before she left this earth. If Wendy's diagnosis is true, now more than ever, her son should be allowed the same grace. He deserves it. And most importantly, Wendy deserves it. What's the purpose of blocking out the family? What's the purpose of blocking out her only son? I don't see the benefit in that. I don't see the. That's when the problem started. Thank you, Michelle. That's when the problem started. That's when the problem started. All right. Up next, I'm gonna share the footage of the intimate moment when Wendy's niece, Alex. All right, no, I want to go here. When Will, the manager, conveniently comes in the room and points out a bottle. He conveniently is always trying to point out that she's always drinking. And I feel like the driver, the publicist, and the manager are all in this together. Because when she went to LA, Will got pissed. What you so mad for, Will? She was only pitching a show. This falls under fair use. Here we go.
So, did you eat something or did you have a liquid lunch? Because I came into your room and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I happened to notice one of your specialty items. Did you drink this whole thing today?
Yes. No.
But, okay, let's just have a quick conversation about this. Don't you feel like maybe this is a bit excessive? I don't know if you need this right now.
Why?
We have a lot of business
I'm
deals
not
going
drunk.
on. I never said you was drunk, but I just don't know if this is a good idea.
You.
You see, Wendy? She like F you. Exact. Who was buying the alcohol? Who was buying the alcohol? She can't do it. Wendy can't even drive. She could barely walk. Who was buying the? How did she get the bottle? Granted, there are services where you can order it in. Okay, so you know how I am, Naughty Crew. I like to give all sides. All right, so she could possibly be ordering it in.
So you think you're perfectly fine having as many drinks as you want?
Perfectly.
Okay. But I'm just going to put it downstairs to keep it cool.
Keep it there.
Okay.
Keep it there.
So, did you eat something?
See, Wendy, her big gripe, I think, where she messed up because Kevin Jr. Exactly. But she has stacks of cash in this scene. So she has money. Wendy's saying she's broke, but she's really not. You know what I mean? Her funds are just frozen. Kevin Jr. had power of attorney. He did until that court date. And one thing Kevin Jr. said is, you know, my mom, if you hold her accountable for her drinking, she likes to push those people away. Okay? Ooh, another thing that was heartbreaking to me, the whole vape scene when the assistant had to keep going back and forth and Wendy was disheveled and things like that. I think it's when a person is addicted to something, they be jonesing. They be jonesing for whatever it is they want, and they want it the way they want it. That scene broke my heart. And I just feel like they purposely showed things like that. I feel like her team, they just keep driving this narrative that she's an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic. Does she have a bad relationship with alcohol? I absolutely think she does. And so does Kevin Jr. I remember one scene when they were out at a restaurant and Wendy was saying, I don't even have friends that come to the house anymore. Remember that last year after she divorced Kevin and she was on the show, Wendy, all she was talking about was how she was getting together with different friends, She was making amends with a lot of people she had wronged in the past, even P. Diddy. Okay. She constantly had people over until she didn't. And I just feel like this was a plan to isolate Wendy. It's the sad. And shout out to her niece Alex, because she's been windmilling for her aunt. But the family is completely isolated. I don't feel like the family is out for money, because her niece has her own career. I told you Kevin Jr. has figured out how to make money for himself and take care of himself. Her sister has her own career. I mean, they're well off. They're well off. And for her father to be sick and the family can't get in touch with her, make that make sense to me. Like, that's just ridiculous. Why aren't people able? Why isn't her family? They should have a direct line to Wendy. Even still now, to date, they do not know where Wendy is. She sold that, and she sold her apartment. She was cognitive enough to know on camera with her niece that she didn't want to talk about where she was moving to. The only thing she disclosed, it was like one level, so she wouldn't have to climb up the stairs. I feel like that too. I feel like the family needed the documentary to come out to clear their names. Absolutely. The family was pushed out right away. You could try to blame them all you want. I don't feel like the family is the problem. I feel like Wells Fargo and her team around her is the issue here. And I feel like when the cameras was on, they were trying to try to make it seem like they care about Wendy's best interest when they don't actually. Because Will said in one scene, like, yeah, I see something is wrong, but part of me doesn't ask because I just don't want to know. That's what Will said. Till she went to LA, he went off. And the first thing Wendy said is, I want to fire Will. I need new management. Fair use. Shout out to Neighborhood Talk.
It's just like, it's so sorry.
Lisa here, we'll get her out of here, okay?
Yes. Yes.
That one right there.
1 second. Yeah, we're right back, Wendy.
One.
Okay. Alex, hi. No, I don't know you. I'm good. Thank you.
You see, Alex, I don't know you. I'm good. You're a stranger. This is not who we're used to. When Wendy's team was good around her, Wendy was good. Now this new team, they're a flop. She's not there to handle your finances. She's there to be a publicist. That's what she's hired to be. Yes, please hit that like button. That is what she's hired to be, a publicist, to spin all these stories and things like that. Now, if she chooses to go outside of the scope of her normal work duties that she was hired to do, that's what is the motive? And I think there's some strife between her and Will because of that. Sean, she acts like nothing's wrong with Wendy. And to me, that's dangerous. I'm loving how Alex is empowering her aunt, okay? And keeping it real with her, because sometimes we need those tough conversations, whether we want to hear it or not, all right? And let me tell you, after this talk with her niece, Wendy flew to LA and started taking meetings with Universal, all different networks. She had 2 meetings when she was out in LA. And Wendy was able to tell her she loved her back. You understand? So, to me, Wendy has moments of clarity. But I really feel like she needs to be, I think the best place for her to be is around her family. Ultimately, when she's in Florida, she's in a different place. And when she's in New York, they're just pushing her to work for the bottom line because we have to keep the paychecks rolling in. And Kevin Jr. said, you know, Will, he's a jeweler. He's no manager. So where did he come from? Where did he come from? I don't know. I'm still watching episode 4, Naughty Crew.
Slept well. Welcome. Good to see you. I love you. Cozy. How was the flight? Good. Gorgeous room. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and lots of TV. Lots of TV. So, September. What about September? I go back on TV. Morton Ira. I've known them from the Wendy show. So you've been saying this for like a while. September. Well, the thing is that when Williams is black, I was born as being black. But when I get back on TV, it's Wendy Hunter. Okay. So you want to say Wendy Hunter? Yes. Okay. I was told the first time by Beyonce.
Wow. Hey, good morning, Bree. Yo, she's really hanging on to that Wendy Hunter. That's her identity. That's her identity. And I just really feel like she's best in Miami because her family is going to look out for her. I'm convinced of that. I don't think the family's out for money. The nephew put things in perspective when Wells Fargo started freezing her accounts. That was around the time she threw an 18th birthday party for Kevin Jr. And the party was about $100,000. Also, Kevin Jr. said, you know, when my mom came to Miami, she has a pricey lifestyle. I mean, Wendy is not cheap. She's never been that. I just really feel like Wells Fargo is the culprit behind this. And I think it's kind of messed up that when they decided to do the guardianship, they overlooked the family and went directly to appoint a court-appointed guardian. And you didn't see that happen with the Britney Spears case. You did not see that happen with Amanda Bynes. Their families were able to step in and control the finances. So why was Wells Fargo able to skip this step? It behooves me that a bank could come in, take over your finances, and then isolate you away from your family. I mean, the Guardian went ham right away, started firing Wendy's lawyers, started putting restraining orders against her family. That is weird. That is not someone acting in the best interest of Wendy. I'm sorry. That's someone acting in the best interest of the bank. It makes me wonder what Wells Fargo is doing with Wendy's Williams money. And I feel like this documentary was definitely necessary to expose some things. It is that. Good morning, Bree. No, it shouldn't. And I don't like the way she was let go, but unfortunately, Wendy she stopped showing up to work. She stopped showing up to work. The moment with her and Black China was so endearing. It was so endearing. And to me, I feel like Wendy is fighting to get her voice back. That's what it gave. I agree with her son. She just does not need to work at this point. I really think she should retire and just focus on her health and just live her days, living a life of leisure, doing whatever she wants to do, chilling with her son. I was so happy that Kevin Jr. participated in this project because I really wanted to know what his mindset was. And he comes across as a very mature young man who has his mom's best interest at heart. He's very loving towards his mom, and he wants the best for her. Exactly. He didn't know what to do when things like that happen. You have to get the right people around her son. He was naive. Because you know what? They just thought she was going back to New York for the court case. And Kevin Jr. said when they got into court, the judge asked if she wanted her son around, and Wendy said no. And it's because she wanted to drink. She wanted to be able to drink when she wanted to. I thought it was sad. I thought it was sad, but I feel like her niece Alex is really, really on her side and champion for her aunt. You can't trust anyone. You can't but to get that guardian up out of there. So when she went to and this is where I really felt like Will was trying to play both sides of the fence. When Wendy went to LA, he went off, child. It was like a narcissist losing control, if you ask me. And he immediately was like, "Oh, I'm gonna report her to the guardian. She's under financial guardianship." Last time I checked, she still had her basic rights to travel and do what she wants. Let me know if y'all think that's the case. But I mean, yeah, she may be under financial restriction, but last time I checked, she didn't have to ask no one's permission to go anywhere. And okay, and I'm glad you bring that up in my opinion. This is the importance of having your business in order. Because one of the number one problems is Wendy did not own that show. Denmark Mercury owned the Wendy Williams show. Only thing Wendy owns is her name. And that's why they were able to push her out the way they did. She didn't own any of it. All right. And number two, obviously her business wasn't in order as far as like, well, she tried to give her son power of attorney and the team robbed him of it, basically blindsided him. Good morning, ladies. Welcome.
Good morning. I just want to say, because I've been following this as a big Wendy Williams fan, I remember when the son got caught up. But here's the thing. The difference between Wendy Williams and Bruce Willis is when Bruce Willis showed up at his ex-wife's house, that's when they noticed something was wrong and they immediately put things in action. Everybody saw Wendy deteriorating and they didn't do anything. That's why the guardianship is in place. When Wendy was losing certain things, the son just, oh, that's just my mom. He was just being a young boy, and I understand that. But they didn't rob Wendy. Wendy went into that courtroom, said she didn't want her son over her, and
Mm-hmm.
he had no legal basis to prove why he should be. And he didn't have the documentation showing his mom was sick. And this
Mm-hmm.
is what I need people to understand. Wendy is an alcoholic. Let's just call it what it is. She
Mm-hmm.
is codependent on, if it's not alcohol, it's drugs. And if that guardian hadn't stepped in, her family would have went through that money in no time. She thinks she's broke because they've been opening all these bank accounts, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
what's causing issues. All these people were leeches. Those people that are around were the people around by Kelvin Jr., the man, William Shelby, all that. But now
Mm-hmm.
they're seeing like, oh snap, the son is seeing it because he's like, dang, he said, but my mom allowed me to. You knew your mother was sick, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, he's young, but this is why we have to have those tough conversations with our children, because when I see Bruce Willis, I see his kids understand it. They're tapped in. If you don't do something, the courts will. And it's hard to take a power of attorney away from somebody in the state of New York.
Yes.
Honestly and truly. So Kelvin didn't do his just due because his parents didn't set him up to understand the financial background and literacy. But I just have to say that it's heartbreaking. My heart goes out to Kelvin's mother, him. But when you don't understand something, look, the powers that be, and Delmar and Mercury, they're the reason she still has money in the bank, because they know what type of woman she is. The fact everybody was covering for her being under the influence, losing her mind. They were doing so much stuff to keep her afloat, and it just spiraled out of control. And I'm not a fan of Wells Fargo at all, but in this situation, it's the family's fault. And they have to own up to that, because everybody around her was enabling her, and that's what an outsider had to be put in place. Granted, it's with Wendy's money, but that would happen if it was a Britney Spears or not. The reason Britney Spears family was in control for so long, shoot, they was secretly like, oh, let's put you into this. Here, sign this. They had her sign that stuff over when she was in her quote unquote sound mind. So that's the difference. And she willingly went. This instance, Wendy Williams didn't want to go, and they were like, oh, she's unhinged. These people probably are financially abusing her, and I think she would be broke had they not stepped in. But I'm gonna drop back down. Thank you, ladies, for letting me up. Good morning. Have a blessed money making Monday. And
Yes.
great.
Thank you so much, Bree, for your thoughts. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Hey, in my opinion,
Hey, Knotty, how are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
You know, I'm blessed by the best and highly favored.
I know that's right.
Listen here, so to clear up a few things that Bree said, and I love that little girl. Her spirit is amazing. She's gonna be something serious when she gets to be our age. Listen here, the reason why they was able to overturn the power of attorney is because Wendy was already diagnosed, and they told her in 2019, and also they told the family that she had already started to lose brain damage in her brain because of alcohol. But the son was staying in Florida because he was going to school. The family was in Florida. Wendy was in New York. He couldn't do what he needed to do. Then when Wendy came down there, they had already started the process. But it didn't help that he spent $120,000 for a birthday party, which Wendy probably wanted to do because she always did something extravagant for her son. $100,000 on Uber Eats and $80,000 for his rent. And they used that in the court to say, look, they're bleeding her dry. She's only been there a few months, and this is what they spent the money on. And that's how they was able to overturn the power of attorney. But had she had that trust in place, a trust is even bigger. You can't just go into court and say, oh, well, they're spending this and that, and then to overturn a trust. A trust is set up in place that, hey, nobody can override this. Like there's no court system that's going to allow you to overturn a trust, because that person is saying, this is who I want to have all say so over everything legally. So that's why I say, if you have the means and you want to protect your means, put a trust in place. Wendy has these people around her, and we can say all day long that if the family had been involved, her money would have been gone. But we don't know that for sure. But we do know that now she's paying Will Selby. Will Selby has a staff because he had his little assistant there that she's having to pay. Then she's having to pay Sabrina, the guardian. She's also having to pay this publicist that's acting like a financial advisor and a manager all in one. Okay, so here's my thing. If we X all them out, okay, her family ain't asking for her money anyway. They're not asking for access to the money. They want access to Wendy. You see what I'm saying? When that sister got on there and said they can keep Sabrina in place for the money, we don't care about that. It's the fact that they're sitting here and allowing her to drink. Because here's the thing. A guardianship is supposed to take over all assets of your life. So yes, she was supposed to ask for permission to leave. But how do you give somebody the finances to go buy liquor? Because she can't buy it by herself unless the guardian give her some money. All her stuff is locked up. Okay, so while we saying these gardens is doing what they're supposed to be doing, well, where is she getting the money from? She had $15,000 in the house.
Yes.
Will Selby is giving her that to keep her happy, to keep his job, whatever you want to say. He got that. He's doing it for a reason. He knows if I keep Wendy somewhat happy, I'm gonna stay around and I'm gonna catch. I'm gonna get a check.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll give her a cut of his money every so often. He probably buying her liquor and stuff because let's be clear, it wasn't like he was shocked or nothing. He said, "I come in here every day and I look for liquor." Well, how did she get it, sir? How did she get
That's
it?
my question. How did she get it? I mean,
Because she
granted,
ain't got no credit. All her credit cards is locked up because she has a gardenership. So you got to tell me how in the world she got a gardener that's all her money, all her finances, her credit cards locked up and everything, but she's always got liquor there. She's got vape there. They rode around the block at the vape shop.
how many
I
times
just
did they
don't.
go into that vape store?
16 times, and she kept telling me it was the wrong place. I don't like the way that they. I mean, I'm glad that the family is finally saw that. Hey, this is a way to get Wendy back to let it air. But I hate to see Wendy Williams' legacy be this because I sat here and cried watching this because it was so sad to see that once vivacious woman that we all loved. How you doing? Walking around, not even knowing her own what she was, her name, nothing. Like she thought she was in Miami when she was in California.
Yeah.
I don't know how we look at this and say this is okay. So yes, I know I've been hashtagging free Wendy all since last night. Free Wendy.
I think she need to be with the family. I think she strives better. I think.
And did you see how she called Tommy, her ex-husband Kelvin? She was like, "I'm so
I
glad
didn't
to
get
see
to
you,
that
Kelvin."
episode 4 because I'm in the middle of episode 4. When she's sitting down with Kevin Jr. and her nephew for lunch. But I didn't see all of episode 4 yet. But like this is 2 weeks before she went back to she was ordered to go back to court. Like the fast decline. That's what I'm looking at.
And I do what I can. I do what I can.
I see you looking real healthy.
Please, Kevin, please.
Yeah, but you also like how it's really private because I know you like gyms if they're private, of course.
Yeah, I like it, and I also like food, which is why I've got to keep on my routines with going to the gym.
Yeah, and like how have you been eating? Like, because everyone that looks at you, you have beautiful skin. Like people want to know what's the secret.
Thank you. I'm not giving you points for saying that to me. You know that, don't you? No, but it's. I was born, and I like the company I keep there, and I.
So this is from her lawyer, her former lawyer in Miami. And he was fired by the Guardian. So I really feel like this documentary needed to happen to kind of expose the Guardian and the decision making that the Guardian is making over Wendy, and to kind of see like where she was doing well and where she wasn't. Because as soon as she got back to New York, decline. But this is the importance, people, of having your business in order. It is so important so that the courts can't come in and take over. All right, and here's the scene. Shout out to the Jasmine brand where Wendy mistakens here we
go. So Kevin, I'm so glad you're here. Really? Yes.
I know you are. I know you are. I couldn't wait to see you.
So Kevin, I'm so glad you're here.
So you could see glimpses of the dementia take place. And do I believe I think it's a slip. Like even when she called, said that she was in Miami, I think she just got confused because she switched it up and corrected it later and said she knew she was in Los Angeles. She knew she was in California. You could say the same thing in this situation. Maybe she just had Kevin on her mind. I don't know, Naughty Crew. It's just a lot. And I really want the best for Wendy. And I hope the family can leverage this for her. I hope I feel like
Well, they plan on using this as evidence because that's what they needed. The court wouldn't listen to them because they didn't have any evidence that Sabrina was not doing her job. And so I am so glad that they're going to use this as evidence. I am glad. The one most important thing I am glad about is that Wendy is doing better. And she had been reaching out to Miss Sabrina, and Miss Sabrina has not been returning her phone calls. So her sister gave her the advice to get a notebook, write it down. When you call, she didn't answer. I called again, she didn't answer. So I am glad that Wendy is on the hill, and I'm hoping that the success story will be she gets with her family and she can move to Florida and retire there with her dad for the rest of his time here because we see he ain't in the best state neither. But I just
You know,
think
Wendy
that
would never, like when they was talking about that, they couldn't get in touch with Wendy when her dad was in the hospital. You know, for Wendy would never ever miss out on.
never.
Come
She
on,
loved her parents. That was the one thing you knew for sure. She loved her parents and she loved that son.
she loved her son to the ends of this earth. Okay, and that's the main times you see her get emotional when she talks about Kevin Jr. But I really feel like this documentary is gonna help put Wendy back on a healthier path. And she's gonna have I hope it leads to her loved ones being around her so that she can just be happy. You understand? Be happy. I just feel like Will he conveniently points out things when the cameras are around. Like when they're in the restaurant, oh, don't give her any liquor, give her a mocktail. Or when they got to Miami and he's checking out the hotel room, oh, it looks like they did it for me. They took all the liquor out. We all know in the hotel room, all you have to do is say no alcohol and they would take it out. Sir, stop trying to make it seem like you're doing something beneficial for her. What are you covering up? And that's what it gave me. What are you covering up? And when the cameras are here, do you even care enough? I don't feel like he does. He said it out his own mouth. He said it out his own mouth. So I don't think Will, the manager, has Wendy's best interest at heart. And I don't think Alex, the publicist, has Wendy's best interest at heart at all.
That girl dumb as the box of rocks.
And I think deep down she got a gripe with Wendy because Wendy be body shaming her and saying all she takes a lot of abuse from Wendy. But did you see how she was with the driver? And I think it's just because she don't know these people. So in the back of Wendy's mind, that's why she's so combative. Because she just don't know these people and she doesn't necessarily know how to express herself all the time. I just think we got a frustrated Wendy. She definitely has a bad relationship with alcohol. But I just feel like they are ramping up things for the camera. I really do. Her team.
Did you see how Will Selby was talking to Wendy?
What, when he was yelling
On
at
the
her?
phone wall after she went to LA?
Yeah, I saw that.
If he talks to her like that on camera knowing he's being filmed, imagine what he's doing when he's not being filmed.
Exactly. Hold on. Let me see if I can cue that up.
I'm processing a lot. My concerns are just who these people are that are around her. What are they promising her?
Denise, I thank God for her. I don't know. Can y'all hear?
This is crazy.
What's up? So you know what you have to do later on today, right?
Well, I can't.
What do you mean you can't? I spoke to you yesterday and you said 4 o'clock is fine.
Well, Lord, yeah.
Okay. When are you coming back? Are you serious?
Well, hold on. So I flew with the black girl.
Who? Sean? So Sean came to get you?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Because, you know, I never had a car. Look, do you understand?
Yeah, but who gives a about that?
All right. Maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe you need to bring your ass back here now. You need to get on the plane first thing in the morning. I need both of you guys to call me and we need to figure this out. All right, goodbye.
She's wild.
It's not wild, it's just selfish and immature. Sean's calling me now. Hello? Can you tell me what's going on? And can you just tell me the truth, please? Did you think to mention it to me? She should be petrified because she knows she has no business in her life. She just lied. You put me in a position where idiot. She needs to get her ass out here right now. And then me and you need to have a conversation separately. We need to figure out what's going on because I can't believe that you would even do this behind my back. Let me know. All right. Sean's full. I don't even know how the guardianship feels about this. Text me asking me, is Wendy in LA? I ignored her because I don't even know what to tell her. She's gonna look at me like, how did you let Wendy go up to LA? So now she's not gonna trust me. They don't understand the position they put me in. So I'm just pissed.
Okay. What? I thought the guardianship was just over her money. Like, I'm sorry. Isn't she allowed to go where she wants?
No, she's over every aspect of her life, and that's what I'm saying. But if he's talking to her like that, knowing he's being filmed,
Mm-hmm.
and notice when she came back, he told the cameras they couldn't come up. I am really scared for how he does her in private when the cameras are not. That aggression he had was sickening, and my heart stopped. He was chastising her like that was his child.
Exactly. He comes across as someone that is afraid to lose control. And you got to wonder why, right?
He's afraid to lose that money. Him and Sabrina are actually friends.
See? And that's why I feel like this was a whole, scheme. You know what I mean? Because why would the courts, I think the courts were able to overlook the family is because the family was just in another state. That's it. They didn't really have the means at the time to come fight this, nor the evidence. So I hope this is the beginning of Wendy getting her power back so that she can live out her golden days according to what she wants. I don't necessarily think that she needs to be working. I don't think she's in a position to work. I think she should just focus on her health. And I feel like she was better when she was with her son. Because you know what? Kevin Jr. holds her accountable. And that's why she avoids
Well,
him.
you know that lawyer in Florida said while she was there getting bail on, the video they put out, she also said she got threatened that if she said anything, something was going to happen to her. And I was like, Why is it so? What is happening so much that everybody is somehow looped in together? It's like a New York thing. Somehow they do not want her to go to Florida for nothing.
And you have to wonder why is that, right? That's crazy. Why
It
don't
feels
they
like
want?
the court is getting a lot of money too.
I think Wells Fargo is in on it too.
Oh, they definitely glad because they get a portion every time you leave your money in a bank. You trust that bank to have your money. That makes that bank have higher collateral. Wells
Exactly.
Fargo they don't went through a whole bunch of scandals where they had people that was taking people social security numbers and opening up bank accounts and stuff like that. So they done lost a lot of their money. They need to keep as much as they can. So yeah, they'll work with anybody.
And I just feel like they're benefiting the most because they could use Wendy. The amount of money she has in there, they're using it to invest and things like that. So you got to think about who's really benefiting. And it's not her son. It's not the family. It's her team. They're benefiting around her. And I feel like they don't necessarily have Wendy's best interest at heart. And that's why I feel like the Guardian got scared and tried to drop that restraining order at the last minute to try to stop the airing of the Lifetime documentary. But too little, too late. And maybe if you would have returned some phone calls, you would have knew what was going on, Guardian. I'm just saying. They was able to film a whole documentary, and now at the last minute, you want to put a restraining order. I'm going to get into trending topics, but I need to run somewhere, run errands. In my opinion, I just really want to give prayers to Wendy. I wish the best for her, and I don't want her to go out like this, And then you have the other side of the coin where people are like, this is her karma for talking bad about people. Look, let me tell you something. Wendy was trying to make amends with people through the years. She was trying to make amends and she was trying to get right. She was surrounding herself by friends and stuff like that. So I don't want to. I don't even think this is her karma. Look, people gossip all the time. Just Wendy did hers out loud on the radio and on TV. And she had some very strong point of views, which she was entitled to. And my thing is, if it don't apply, let it fly. Okay? But we all have made mistakes, and Wendy is no exception. But that's the career path she chose, and Wendy owns it. It's not like she never owned what she did. She walked in that. So I think it's really, really you have to be like a heartless person to say like, oh, this is karma for all the bad she has done. Yeah, no. Nobody deserves this. She's a sick woman that needs healthcare and that needs her family and her child around her. People also are throwing conspiracy theories out there that like she's being DRUGS or DRUGGED. Possibility. I feel like it's a possibility. I mean, the way they set up those scenes so that liquor bottles could be found and stuff like that, so that they could look like, oh my God, Wendy is so much to handle. And I just think they saw Wendy as a very depressed woman and they pounced on her. I don't know, in my opinion. What are your closing thoughts?
I think they saw her as easy money. We can give her a little bit to complace her to keep her on the task, and then we can, belittle her and whatever. I hope and pray that everybody that has seen this, even if you don't care about Wendy Williams, you care about the elderly. Because in this documentary, a lady said, this is not just happening to Wendy. It's happening to families all across. So it could be your family needs.
Yep.
Use the hashtag Free Wendy.
Free Wendy, hashtag Free Wendy. Let's leave it in the comments, Naughty Crew. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm just really heartbroken that this is where she ended up, and I just hope the family can get behind her to turn this thing around to where she's back in a healthy place and she's just surrounded by her loved ones, because I don't feel like she's surrounded by anybody that has her best interest at heart at all. Thank you for joining the panel. In my opinion, make sure y'all go over to her channel and subscribe. And also make sure you go over to Couture Bay and subscribe to her channel. But Knotty Crew, what are your thoughts? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you feel like the family has Wendy's best interest at heart? Or do you feel like Wendy's team is the culprit here and they are basically trying to drain the swamp and take advantage of Wendy? I appreciate every last one of you joining me. Hey, Shay B, please remember to hit that like button if you have not already. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I just wanted to keep it simple and low key today. Appreciate every last one of you joining me. Oh, I forgot to talk about my weekend. You know, good weekend. I mean, I had a hiccup in the road. Something went wrong or whatever with my car. But you know what? Overall, I caught up with friends this weekend and we had a good time. I went to go see Buck to visit him. We had a blast like we always do. And it's just always good to catch up with my friends. And then on Sunday, my girlfriend Audra, shout out to her. She has a group of people that she's associated with. And we had like an adult game night. And it was so much fun. It was music, dance, food, and it just good laughs. Just had a really good time. So overall, had a good time this weekend. Caught up. I went to dinner with a friend and things like that. So yeah, that's what type of weekend I had. I had fun. Okay, live, love, laugh, and that's the energy I want to put out into the universe. And make sure you take care of your loved ones and you monitor them and keeping them close. And when you see signs of things, address it. Get things in order so that you can protect our loved ones, so that the courts can't come in and tell you what to do with your own family. And I just really hope Wendy's family can get this turned around, because I really do feel like her team does not have her best interest at heart. As long as she is able to make connections so that they can continue to make money, that's all they care about. And I just feel like there was a lot of scenes where it was just really convenient, where they're finding alcohol, or you hear Will like, don't give her alcohol. Oh, her son doesn't want her to have any alcohol at all. But yet her son cannot see her. You make that make sense to me. In what world is it healthy for people to unhealthy? Well, I just feel like it's an unhealthy thing, the way they basically isolated her family, period. And there's a reason behind that. And I think in the days to come, we'll find out. But as of right now, Wendy is in a rehab facility. The family does not know where she is. Wendy has called and spoke with them, but she has not disclosed her location. So hashtag free Wendy Williams in the comments. Let me know what you think, Knotty Crew. And as you move through your day, make sure you
ever in life, I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business.
Make sure you stand on business, 10 toes down, and don't get swallowed up by what? The evil.
You ever been swallowed up?
And to all my haters, appreciate y'all too.
And I wanna say thank you in case I don't thank you enough.
All right, Knotty Crew, I appreciate every last one of you. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Until next time, Knotty Crew, I'm out. One.